the history of warfare, the most dangerous weapon has never been the sword, the tank, or even the nuclear bomb. Those weapons can destroy a city. However, they cannot rewrite the reason why the city was destroyed. For that, you need something else. In December 1989, the people of Romania rose up to overthrow one of the most brutal dictators in Eastern Europe, Nicolae Ceaușescu. It is often remembered as the violent end of communism on the continent. But if you look closely at the timeline, you realize that the decisive battle was not actually fought in the streets. It was not fought in the palace, and it was not fought in the barracks. The revolution was fought here, and the weapon they used was not a gun. It was a live broadcast signal. This was the first televised revolution in history, and it taught the world a terrifying lesson. If you can control the screen, you do not just report the news, you can invent reality. It is the middle of December 1989. We are in the Palace Square in Bucharest. It is freezing. Over 50,000 people have been amassed here. Many were dragged straight from their factories and schools to stand in the cold for hours. They are all waiting for one man, Nicolae Ceaușescu. For 24 years, he has ruled Romania with a surveillance state so pervasive that 1 in every 30 citizens is an informant. A few days earlier, in the western city of Timișoara, the military opened fire on civilians who were protesting. News is spreading. The country is a powder keg. Desperate to project strength, Ceaușescu demands a mass rally to be broadcast live on national television. It is the gamble of his life. He steps out onto the balcony. He waves to the audience. The cheers are deafening, but there is a problem. The cheers are fake. It is a pre-recorded audio track blasting from huge speakers to cover the silence of the crowd. Then, the system glitches. Screams cut through the audio track. The crowd is not cheering, they are booing. Ceaușescu freezes. He taps the microphone, confused. His wife Elena leans into the microphone and screams at the crowd to be silent. "Nicu, answer them," she yells. But he cannot answer them. The camera shakes. The cameraman, panicked, points the lens aimlessly at the sky to hide the chaos. For a few seconds, the entire nation sees their leader not as a god, but as a confused old man. The signal is cut. For the first time in decades, the dictator looks weak. And in a dictatorship, the moment you look weak, it is over. The spell breaks. The crowd refuses to disperse. By morning, the fear has evaporated. The soldiers sent to crush the uprising realize the wind has changed. They stop shooting the people and start joining them. By the morning of December 22nd, the protesters are not just in the square. They are breaking down the doors of the Central Committee building. Ceaușescu orders a helicopter to the roof. Nicolae and Elena are lifted off the roof just seconds before the mob storms the terrace. They are airborne, but they have nowhere to land. The pilot, Lieutenant Colonel Vasile Maluțan, realizes the regime has collapsed. He knows that if he continues to fly the dictator, he might be shot down by his own army. He lies to Ceaușescu. He tells him the engine is overheating and that they are being tracked by radar. He forces the helicopter down by a rural roadside near the town of Târgoviște. The most feared man in Romania is suddenly just an old man hitchhiking in the snow. They manage to flag down a car. It is driven by a local bicycle mechanic named Nicolae Petrișor. He recognizes them immediately, but he is too terrified to say no. As he drives them toward the nearest town, the dictator sits in the back seat, listening to the car radio. The news announcer is shouting that the tyrant has fled. The mechanic drives them to an agricultural center and locks them in a back office. He then calls the police. The police arrest the couple and drive them to a local military barracks. The commander of the barracks does not know what to do with them. He locks them inside an armored personnel carrier for 3 days. They sit there in the dark, smelling of diesel and fear, while the country outside descends into madness. While the dictator is locked in a tank, the real power shifts to a new location. It does not go to the parliament. It does not go to the army headquarters. It goes to Studio 4 of the Romanian television. At 12:51 in the afternoon, a group of poets, actors, and revolutionaries storm the station. When the cameras go live, the nation sees Mircea Dinescu, a dissident poet. He is sweating and breathless. He shouts that they have won and that God has turned his face toward Romanians. It is a moment of pure euphoria, but it is followed by something much darker. The station is taken over by a new provisional committee. The main anchor is a man named Teodor Brateș. They have no script. They have no verified sources. They just have a live microphone and a terrified population. To keep the revolution alive, they need an enemy. And since the real enemy has fled, the television invents one. Brateș begins reading unverified handwritten notes passed to him by the crowd in the studio. He reads them live on air as facts. Terrorists are attacking the blood bank. The water in the city of Sibiu has been poisoned. The secret police is using exploding bullets. A column of tanks is heading for the city. None of this is true, but because it is on television, people believe it. This phenomenon becomes known as terrorist psychosis. The broadcast creates a phantom army. Viewers are told that super soldiers are hiding in every shadow. Civilians are told to arm themselves and fight back. The consequences are horrific. The most tragic example happens at Otopeni Airport. The television station announces that terrorists are coming to attack it. The army sends truckloads of reinforcements to help defend the airport, but the defenders who are already inside the airport are also listening to the broadcast. They believe the approaching trucks are the terrorists. They open fire on each other. For nearly an hour, Romanian soldiers fight other Romanian soldiers in the dark. 48 people are killed. Buses full of young conscripts are destroyed. They were not killed by the regime. They were killed by a feedback loop of fear generated by the signal. The revolutionaries in Studio 4 thought they were documenting the war. In reality, they were directing a fiction that was bleeding into real life. The chaos only ends when the show finds its finale. The new provisional government, led by Ion Iliescu, realizes that the rumors will not stop as long as the dictator is alive. They need to cancel the series. They need a body. On Christmas Day, a makeshift courtroom is assembled inside the military barracks where the Ceaușescus are being held. The trial is a farce. It lasts less than 2 hours. The lawyers appointed to defend the dictator act more like prosecutors. They accuse him of genocide and ruining the economy. Nicolae refuses to answer any questions. He laughs at the judges. He checks his watch. He tells them he only recognizes the Grand National Assembly. He does not realize the script has already been written. The verdict is death. Immediately. One of the generals, Victor Stanculescu, has already selected the wall where they will die. He has brought his own elite paratroopers to do the job because he does not trust the local soldiers. They are dragged into the courtyard. Elena screams insults at the soldiers. Nicolae sings the first line of the workers' anthem, the Internationale. Before the cameraman can even find focus, the firing squad finishes the job. Over 100 bullets are fired. The footage is broadcast to the nation the next day, and suddenly the terrorists vanish. The poisoned water, the super soldiers, the attacks on the blood banks. It all stops. The war did not end because the enemy was defeated. It ended because the broadcast was over. Romania eventually found its way to democracy. But the revolution left behind a warning for the modern age. When the screen becomes the only source of truth, reality becomes the first casualty.